everyone. Good evening, sir. Welcome to you all in Nurture's live room. I am Subhanshi Purvar and I am moderating today's session. So, we are going to conduct episode number 8 of Chess Gurukul 52-week training program. And due to some internet shortage, last Saturday we had postponed this session, but today we are rescheduling the episode number 8 and the topic is the headings of chess. So without the further delay, it's over to you.
Thank you, Subhashini. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening. Good night, everyone. So I hope my audio is clear now. Pranav, is it better? Yeah. Okay. So let's just wait for everyone to log in. So more people are logging in. So I'll just wait for a few seconds and then we can begin the session. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good evening and good morning to everyone.
नहीं एक्चुअली क्या है वो कह रही है वहां से ज्वाइन कर रही हूँ ना मैं तो ज्वाइन के बाद वहां पे लिखा आ रहा है इनवैलिड करके
मोमेंट
वैलिड आ रहा है हाँ
Okay, so let us begin now. We have the numbers are stabilizing. Okay, so in the last session there was some problem with the internet connection at Sri Lanka, and we had to abandon the session the midway. I apologize for that. So today I'm back at Chennai, my home. So there's no internet connection problem from my side. So hopefully the session will go on smoothly. Okay. So, okay, is it audible now? Is it better now? Lucky Verma says the audio is not audible. It's very low. Okay, so I will try to be as loud as possible. Okay, fine. So for those of you who did not attend the session, like whatever session we had in the first half an hour or so, I will just briefly reintroduce about Immanuel Lasker. So he was one of the longest serving world champions. He was world champion from 1894 to 1918. So that's like 24 years he was a world champion. But back then, we did not have an official chess body like the FIDE, which we have now. And so the players, they just challenged themselves, the top players in the world, they just challenged each other. And then they agreed to have a world championship match. And then that's how they decided who the best player in the world was. So what happened in 1894, Lasker, he was in the top 4 players at the time. And Tarrasch and Steinitz were the other good players. And Lasker challenged Tarrasch for a match. And Tarrasch, he proudly declined to play against Lasker. And he challenged him to win at least 1 or 2 international tournaments before he could consider accepting the challenge from Lasker. And so the match did not take place. And subsequently, Lasker challenged Steinitz, who was the reigning world champion, for a match. And Steinitz, he was a very proud person and he agreed to play a world championship match against Lasker. And the first match, it ended in a disaster for Steinitz because he lost the match very convincingly. There were 10 wins for Lasker, 5 wins to Steinitz, and 4 games ended in a draw. This was in 1894, and as a result, Lasker became the world champion. And subsequently, in 1896-97, and they played a rematch for the world championship title. And this match also, Lasker won very convincingly in a much larger margin. It was 10 wins to Steinitz, to Lasker, 2 wins to Steinitz, and 5 games ended in a draw. So the second match proved convincingly that Lasker was much superior to Steinitz. And subsequently, Lasker played many other matches against players like Marshall, Tarrasch, and so on. And he bet each and every one of them convincingly. And in fact, after Tarrasch lost the match to Steinitz, he complained like it was because of the bad weather, rainy weather, he lost the match. Okay, he had to come up with some excuse to save his face, and this was what he could come up with. And subsequently, Lasker, he played against Capablanca and lost the match, and Capablanca became the world champion, which he continued to hold for many years before finally he lost the match to Alikain, who was the next generation to Capablanca. And subsequently, Lasker passed away in 1941. So this is the brief history about Immanuel Lasker. And regarding his style of play, people considered him more of a psychologist. He was uh, everyone considered him to use more of psychology, and over the board play he was not considered very strong, at least in the initial years. But once he started defeating everyone convincingly, people also agreed like he was also very strong, not just psychology wise. Okay, so now let us go to the games. And I had shown, I think, 1.5 games during the last session, which got abandoned midway. So for those of you who did not attend the session last time, I'll quickly show the game now. So you can see the opening was not the strong point of players from those generation. We should not complain. This is more like Dutch defense reverse color. Like white has played d4, black has played f5. Now just the colors are reversed. So, and it is black to play. So white has an extra move. So he played. Yeah, hello everyone. Okay, what is the best setup against f4? Okay, some people, I used to think f4, e5 was the best to move. And then there are some crazy lines like this. Some crazy lines are there like this. And if you play h3 to stop g4, bishop g3 is mate. Okay, but they will play g3. And it's a very complicated position. And f4, d5, if you are a d4 player, and if black is not a Dutch player, then you could play f4, d5. Psychologically, it's a good line. And I personally don't know which is the best line, but I have tried different setups. I have played like knight f6, g6, bishop g7, d6, e5. Okay, so I have tried knight f6, d6, after g6, bishop g7. So I have played some games like this. Okay, now one thing we have to learn is there are no good openings or bad openings anymore. Okay, now the cloud engines are becoming very famous. People are using the same engines like Stockfish 10 or Commodore 14, but they are using much powerful hardware. Earlier, what we used to do, we were just using our computer, laptop. Like if you have an i3 or i5 or i7, we just use i3, i5, i7, and whatever engines we have to analyze positions. But nowadays, what is happening in the last 1.5 years, the top players, they are using cloud engines. Now, if you go to Chessbase and any position, for example, here you can see the default kibitzer, right? Now, if I use this, it will just open my normal engine like Stockfish 9, and I'll be using my laptop strength. But there are cloud engines. Let me see here. So now if you see open cloud engines. So when I do that, so you get these cloud engines, and these are all very powerful machines. And for using this, you have to pay per minute. Okay, you have to, they charge per minute. And these engines are very powerful. And when we use the Stockfish with this hardware, then you get fantastic analysis. So these engines, what they are doing, any position you give them, they are showing it as 0.00, most of the positions. Okay, so it's like almost all the games are ending in draw if two very strong computers are playing against each other. So now what is happening at the top level is people are not bothered whether e4 is the best opening or d4 is the best opening. When I was a young player, there used to be a big debate, which is the best opening. And people used to think like e4 gives you aggressive positions and d4 is more positional opening, something like that. Okay, because players like Petrosian, Karpov, they all played d4 and they were all very solid players. And active players like Kasparov, Anand, Shirov, they played many e4 games. Okay, subsequently, what happened once the computers came, everyone started playing everything. Anand has played e4 and also d4. Kasparov has played e4 and d4. Okay, so nowadays people are playing e4, d4, knight of 3, c4, all four. Now, most of the 2600 plus players of this generation, they are playing first move e4, first move d4, first move c4, first move knight of 3. Now they are playing almost all the openings. Okay, and that is possible mainly because of the computers. You can create opening databases for any opening you want in few seconds. So today I was showing a demonstration to my students in the Chess Gurukul Academy. Like there were some young good players, and I was showing them how to prepare opening material in, and then we calculated how long it takes. It just took me 1 minute to prepare opening material for one opening. I just randomly asked them for which opening you want to prepare material, and they suggested, and it took me just 1 minute to prepare some basic material on a opening. Now, with the arrival of the computers, and especially the chess-based 15, it is extremely powerful. The search engine is very fast, and you can quickly prepare material for any opening we want. Okay, so I have a doubt. Is everyone able to hear my voice? Because the chat window is very quiet. Okay, fine. Okay, you're all become very disciplined, I guess. That's nice. Okay. No, usually the chat window is like very noisy, but today it was like very quiet. That's why I got some doubt. Maybe I'm talking to myself. Okay, so the chess base 15 is very powerful. Okay, so those who are using chess base 13 or chess base 14, okay, try try to upgrade it to chess base 15. Okay, and in chess base 15, the main advantage is the search engine is very fast. Okay, chessbase 12, 13, 14, whatever you have, you can go to chessbase India website or chessbase.com and then try to upgrade it to chessbase 15. Okay, it is extremely easy to prepare openings and store games and analyze positions with the engine. Everything is much easier with chessbase. Now, I hope you all know how to prepare openings, right? Using chessbase, or do you want me to show you a small demonstration? Can I just quickly show how to prepare openings? Okay, fine. So I'll just show quickly. Okay, it won't take much time. So basically, what all you need to prepare good material, good opening material. Okay, I'll just show how I normally work. Okay, so let me go to the main screen. Are you able to see the main screen now? Are you seeing the main screen? Okay, fine. So here, if you see, now the main thing is the mega base. Okay, so I'm using the chess base 15. I'm showing at the top, chess base 15, and I have the mega base. Okay, so this mega base, what you do, you have to right click. Okay, so listen carefully. And if you want, you can take notes. Okay, you can start taking notes also if you want. Okay, so you don't forget the process. I'm just going to teach you how to use chessbase to prepare some basic opening material. Okay, so what I'm doing, I have the Megabase 2019 and I also have chessbase 15. These two are essential. Okay, once you have this, preparation becomes very easy. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. So right click on Megabase and there is an option properties, go here and there is reference database, right? Reference database, click this and at the bottom you have the pin to favorites. Okay, so click these two, pin to favorites and reference database. Okay, chessbase 15 is not free. Nothing is free, guys. You go to hotel and ask for an idli, you have to pay. Okay, so those of you who can afford it, please buy chessbase 15. Okay, or if you have chessbase 13 or 14, you can upgrade it. It will be much cheaper if you upgrade it. And if you buy from chessbase.in, Indian website, it is easier. Now regarding Megabase, I don't want to give a comment, it will become political. Okay, but chessbase 15 is essential. You have to buy it. You cannot share it. Okay, so you can just go to chessbase.in and then there'll be a shop. You can go to the shop and then use it. Okay, so Mudit Bansal says, I have Fritz. Okay, my suggestion, if you are serious about chess, if you want to be a professional player, okay, then you have to have chessbase 15. It is always good. Provided you have your own computer. If you have your own computer and if you are ambitious, you want to become a professional player, my strong recommendation, get chess base 15. Okay, and mega base 2019. These two are important. Now, Sarvana Bhavan is saying I have chess base 12. Okay, chess base 12 and chess base 15 are completely different. Now, regarding the cost and all, my suggestion, go to the website and find it yourself. Okay, and you can install the chess base 15, I think, in 3 machines. So if you have a laptop, if you have a desktop, you can install in all the 3 places. Okay, so now let me quickly explain the basic things about chess base. Okay, regarding the cost, my suggestion, please go to chessbase.in or chessbase.com and find the cost yourself. Okay, so now I'm assuming you have chess base 15 and megabase 2019. Okay, now what you do, if you see here, I have some folders, right? I have some folders here. Okay, so this is bases, CG means Chess Gurukul. So I have a folder Chess Gurukul training material. Okay, so Chess Gurukul training material, if I just open, I have many databases inside this. Now, if you see, like, I have a lot of databases, right? Now, each database will have some material on one topic. Okay, and then we have the Nurture Dream Room, intermediate episode, and all that. And I have one database called Openings. Okay, so when I click Openings, so inside I have created multiple databases for different openings. So when my students ask for material, I just send them these databases to them. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to tell, you can create folders, okay, according to your need. Okay, so what you do, you have to have one folder for middle game, one folder for end game, one folder for openings. Okay, you can have openings, middle game, end game, and all the middle game material have it in the middle game folder. All the opening material have it in the opening folder. All the end game material have it in the end game folder. Understood? Okay, so now how to create a database inside your folder? Okay, so I will explain. Now, let us say I have this bases, right? Okay, how to create a folder? Okay, guys, this is basic. Just click Windows Explorer. Okay, wait 1 minute. I'm opening Windows Explorer. Okay, wait, I have to share. New share. Okay, hold on. Okay, screen. Okay, so now you are seeing the Windows Explorer, right? So here, what you do, you just at the top, you will have an option to create a new folder, right? I'm not getting how to move this. Okay, so here, if you see new folder, this button, so you can just create a new folder. Right. So you can just create a new folder. Wait. So I have to specify a place. Okay, so I'm specifying a place. Where is this? Okay, so I'm clicking new folder, right? So just create new folder, give it any name you want. So if you see here, I have created a folder chess data, right? All my chess material I keep here. And then when I click chess data, I have created many subfolders, folder within folder. You can create as many folders as you want. Okay, so once you have created a folder like a normal way, you come here, right click on the chess base, add folder shortcut. Okay, add folder shortcut. And if you show which folder you want, if you click it, it will come here. Understood? Okay. Fine. Okay, so what you should do now? So now you can create opening, middle game, end game. You have 3 different folders, and you within that folder you can create as many databases you want. If you want to create a new database, you have to have the Om Kadam. I will teach you about using engines also. Okay, so if you want a new database, if you see here, Control X, right? If you press Control X or this, it will ask what name you want to create. You can create here, give a name, and where you want to create, opening, middle game, end game, wherever you want, you can create a database. Okay. So now let us say you want to prepare some opening. So open a new board. I'm opening a new board. Okay. And then we can have any position opening you want. So let's say I want to prepare against Berlin. Okay. Now I want to prepare against Berlin. My opponent is playing Berlin tomorrow. I'm white. So how should I prepare? Okay. So what you do, you just click reference. That's all. Now, if you see here at this place, you are seeing mega base, right? It is mega base. So because I clicked it in favorites, it will always show mega base. Now what I'm doing, I'm clicking reference once. And when I click reference once, it is searching in mega base. Now if you see how quickly it has searched, done. If you see at the bottom right, 100% done. Okay, so you quickly get the reference search. Okay, now if you see here, Castle is the top option, 23,000 games, D3 10,000 games. But don't go by this number, okay? Because if some opening has become popular in the last 3 months, then obviously number of games will be less. Okay, so don't go by the numbers. So how should we go? Now on the right side, if you see on this area, right side, okay, it automatically gets the latest games. If you see all games played in 2019, okay, and if you see the rating of white players and rating of black players, it's very high, right? So what the chessbase 15 does when you put references, it automatically gets you the top players games played recently. Now this is very important for us. Now I don't know which line is good against Berlin now. So what I should do, I should follow some recent idea by strong player. So what I should do, I should choose a recent idea by a strong player and which he used to win. So now if you see here, Anand versus Giri. Now here if you see D3, bishop C5, C3 at the bottom. D3, bishop C5, C3. Now I'll just keep it in mind. Now I just go to the next to 1-0 game. Here, D3, bishop C5, bishop C6. Now Vitugo Hare Krishna, castle 94. Okay, Vitugo Hare Krishna, castle 94. Caruana Hare Krishna, D3, bishop C5. Howell McChin, castle 94. Dominguez Apollo, D3, bishop C5. So now if you see, there are two options, D3 or bishop C5. Sorry, D3 or castle, right? So now let us say, if you want to choose D3, just click D3 once, immediately you get these games. Okay, so now what you can do, I'm clicking with my left hand, the control button. Okay, I'm holding the control button with my left hand and using the mouse, I'm choosing the 1-0 games. Okay, 1-0 games I'm choosing. Okay, and I don't want to choose blitz games. Okay, generally. Okay, but okay, so rapid game, this is a rapid game, it's fine. Okay, so now I've chosen few games. So now I'm going to click here one time and it goes to the next page and I do the same process. I'm not choosing this because it's a blitz game. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm choosing some 1-0 games. Next page. So do you understand what I'm doing? I'm just choosing some 1-0 games. So now I have chosen around 20 games. Okay, so now I right click, copy to notation, right click, copy to notation, and let's see what happens. So now we have this. So we have basically prepared the material. Okay, I've merged all the 15 or 20 games. So it becomes like a one game. Now here if you see, after D3, bishop C5, we have two options, C3 or bishop C6. Okay, now you can just choose based on the players' names. Now if you see Caruana here, Caruana, he played in 2019 and won. Now if you like Caruana, what you can do, you can just put C6, bishop C6, promote it. At the bottom, there is an up arrow, right? I'm clicking it promoted. Now let's say I don't want C3. So I press Control Y, C3 is gone. Now knight BD2 I don't want. So I've removed all the other stuff. So let's say bishop C6 I want. Okay, so now I have some material. Okay, this is the material. So how many games I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, around 12 games I have. Okay, so now what you have to do, this game you have to save. Now at the top you will have the option file, save game as, right? Save game as. So click save game as, and here you can show which database you want to save. Okay, and then click the database name and then save it. Click OK and it will be saved. Okay, so now what you have done is you have prepared a basic material for the opening. Now you just now you have to see the material. So make the board bigger. Okay, and then start seeing the games. Okay, and this way you can prepare any opening you want. It's very easy. Okay, now if you are connected to internet, you can also do another way. For example, let us say bishop c6, dc6, I want to get some games. So what I do, I just press enter. I'm pressing enter, and what happens, it searches online. Okay, I'm resizing. Now it is searching online using the internet, and it is doing the same thing. Instead of my reference megabase, it is searching in the internet. It has more games than megabase, and it is also quite fast. Okay, so now whatever games you want, here also doing the same process. Just choose some games and choose some 10 games, add it to the collection, and you can prepare. Okay, or you can just see from here without adding to collection. Now let's say if you want to play knight bd2, it immediately gives you the games, and whichever game you want, you can just see here. It's quite easy. Okay, so this is the way you have to prepare openings. Now Om Kadam was asking how to use engines, analytical engines. Okay, it's quite easy. Now what you have to do, you can go to www.stockfish.com. Okay, you have all heard about Stockfish engine, right? So you just have to go to stockfish.com, and it is free. You can download the Stockfish engine. So the latest engine is Stockfish 10. So you download Stockfish 10, and then there will be a small file. Okay, so you store it in some place, and you remember where you have stored it. Okay, so you go to stockfish.com, download the latest Stockfish engine, and save it in some place. Okay, so once you have saved it, what you have to do, open a chessboard. Okay, I'm clicking restore game, or I'm closing the online database. Now let us say open a board. So I have a board open here, and here if you see create UCI engine, right? Create UCI engine. So click create UCI engine, and then here you have to show where you have stored the engine. So now if you see in my computer, I have stored it in C drive, chess data, all my chess material I keep here, and then I have created a folder engines. So when you click here, and you have all the engines. Okay, so whichever engine you want, you just click it once and click open, and then it would have created, and then press OK. Okay, so this is the process. Open a board, create UCI engine, and show the path. So and then click OK. The engine is saved. And then what you do, first time you click add kibitzer. Click the add kibitzer. Now it is showing. Okay, so now let's say I want to use this engine. Now advanced, and then put it as default engine. Okay, put it as default engine. I don't need so much RAM. So put it as default engine and click OK. And then when you click OK, so I'll close it now. Okay. Okay, so whenever you want to use engine after this process, you just click the default engine, and then automatically it will open. Okay. Okay, so this is how you prepare openings and how you use engines. Fine. So let me go to Lasker game. Okay, let's go to the topic. Fine. So we were looking at one game in the previous session. This game we had already seen. So let us see the game quickly. Now b3, and then this bishop d3 is not a very natural move. Okay, it's not a natural move. So both sides are developing pieces, and as I mentioned in the previous class, this is not so great move, knight e2, but it is understandable. Lasker wants to bring the knight to the king side to create an attack, but the drawback of this move, as I mentioned already, is knight c5. If he had played knight c5, this bishop he would have lost. It would have been exchanged. Okay, that's why knight e2 is not good, but luckily for Lasker, opponent did not see that and he played c5, and then this chance missed. He will not get the chance again. And then knight e5 takes the bishop, attacks the queen. Now some d4 threats are coming. There is some pressure on the indirect pressure on the g2 pawn. So first, what Lasker does, he safeguards his weakness. So whenever you have some weaknesses, safeguard them and then focus on opponent's weakness. If you just directly go after opponent weakness, he will come after our weakness. So he played a6 to stop bb5, but it is loss of time. And then finally Lasker launches the attack. And this is the double bishop sacrifice, which is very famous. And this I've shown in the last abandoned session. So I will not go in detail. He sacrificed the two bishops. And this is quite instructive game, forcing the king to go to the h file, and finally rook f3, and he wins the game. Okay, idea rook h3. Okay, the game went for a few more moves. He gave the queen, but double attack, he gained more material. Okay, fine. So let us go to the next game. Now this one is in the World Championship match, Lasker versus Steinitz. Okay, Lasker is white. And this game also I had shown a little bit in the previous class, and it got disconnected, I believe, when we were looking at this game. Okay, so let us go to the game. Yeah, the previous game I had already shown in the class, so I rushed, but this game will go slowly. But initial moves are not very important, so we will go to the critical position. So this is called the Steinitz defense. Okay, and this used to be popular back then, but not anymore. But even now, some players play a6, ba4, d6. Occasionally, some strong players play this from black. So direct d6 is called Steinitz defense. a6, ba4, d6 is playing the Steinitz defense one move delayed. So this is called Steinitz delayed. Delayed Steinitz. Okay, deferred. Sorry, not delayed. Deferred. Steinitz deferred. They call this. Okay, but back then d6 was popular. d4. Now people play ed4. Back then Steinitz played this. Is developing, and he wants to probably either play g6 bishop g7 or knight g6 bishop e7. Both ideas are possible after knight e7. He can either play knight g6 bishop e7 or play g6 bg7. Okay, so he played bishop e3, strengthening the center. Knight g6. Now modern generation, whenever knight g6 comes, they'll go h4. Okay, so very provocative, knight g6. But back then, okay, he played queen d2 with the idea of triple O. So white has completed development. He played bishop e2. This is not the important position, so I'm going little fast here because the game is a long game. Many interesting moments will come later. So I'm going little faster here. So h4 was interesting. It's not a bad move. Okay, so this is the critical position. Okay, so here white took some big risk. Okay, he played g4. It is not, this move is not very risky. He wants to play g5. Okay, directly. or he can take knight f6, queen f6, and then play g5, something like this. Okay, and he wants to attack. He wants to push g5. Once the bishop moves, h4, h5. So visually, this move looks very attractive, and Steinitz reacted very well. He did not try to defend. Now, this is extremely important. Whenever your opponent is trying to launch an attack, playing actively, okay, don't play defensive. I know many young players, whenever opponent starts some threats, they become very defensive. Okay, try not to be like that. Okay, so he simply brings the piece. Now, what Lasker could have done, he could have simply played a move like f3. Okay, defend the e4 pawn, and if he takes bishop into d5, you can take queen d5. Okay, ed5 is a mistake because of rook e3, queen e3, bishop g5. Okay, so he could simply play something like f3, but Lasker, he thought he is getting g5, and he pushed g5, but he did not calculate properly, which is understandable. Those days there were no analytical engines, so people's calculation ability was not so great. Okay, and only with each generation it was getting better, but still the humans' calculation ability exploded only after the arrival of the analytical engines like Fritz 5, Fritz 6. All these analytical engines came. After that only the humans' analytical ability became very strong, because many positions humans used to assess it logically. They'll think, this position looks good. Now, if we just without analysis, if we see white's position looks very great, right? Knight d5 is good. We have already castle long. We have g5 attacking f6, h4, h5 is coming. So if you just look visually, it looks everything is fine. But with computers, and people used to think, okay, it looks good, so it should be good, like that. Okay, but what computers did, they were calculating white move, black move, white move, black move, white move, black move. And if it is bad, it will say bad. If it is good, it will say good. No emotions, no logical assessment. Okay, pure calculation. And then it was finding many brilliant defensive ideas, brilliant attacking ideas. And when human mind started seeing them very often, our analytical ability also improved, calculation ability, defensive ability, everything improved because of the analytical engines. So now, how should black defend? Okay, this question is mainly for those who did not attend the previous session, because I already showed how black reacted. So those who did not attend the previous session, you can tell me how black should play. He did some small calculation and Steinitz reacted very well. Okay, I'm reading the answers. Namit Bir, you were not there in the previous session? No, Pranav, your bishop is under attack. I'm threatening gf6. So how you can play rook e5? Okay, Namit Bir, fine. Okay. Okay, so Mitran, you are saying bishop e7. Isn't it very passive? You're going back, right? No counter attack. And you cannot, if you play bishop e5, that is also no counter attack. If you play bishop e5, I can simply play h4, idea h5. Okay, so bishop e5 does not put white under pressure. Bishop e7 does not put white under pressure. Okay, so listen to this very carefully, everyone. So now let us say you are playing black. Your opponent has just played g5 and is attacking you. Okay, when your opponent attacks, please don't defend. Okay, if you defend, you will get into trouble. He will keep on attacking. Okay, so whenever you are under attack, your mind should think like, how can I create counter attack? Okay, I should give my own threats. Okay, so let us analyze one by one move which you are saying. Bishop b2, king b2, piece down. Not much compensation. Bishop e7, going back, it is passive. Okay. Hey, Parth is saying screen not visible. Is the screen not visible? Okay, so I think Parth, The problem is in your side. Maybe you can try log out and logging in, something like that. Okay. So bishop e5, it does not create any problem for white, right? Bishop e5 does not create any problem. Bishop e7 does not create any problem. These are the two natural moves. Okay, fine. Let us go to the position. So what you should do, you should reject bishop e7, bishop e5. Okay, so now you should look at forcing moves. Now what are the forcing moves? Checks, capture, threat. And the only check black can give is bb2, which is a blunder. So eliminate it. So no more checks. So then we should go to capture. Now what captures you have? Bishop b2, bishop g5, rook e4, bishop d5, right? 4 captures. Bishop into g5, bishop into b2. But both are blunders. Bishop g5 means bishop g5 piece down, bb2 means king d2 piece down. So both those captures you can eliminate. So the only 2 other captures remaining are rook e4 and bishop d5. Rook e4 means g into f6, you're losing a piece. So rook e4 also blunder. So 3 captures are blunder. So the only remaining capture is bishop d5. So you should analyze bishop d5. Understand how to think? The process is very important. Okay, identify the forcing moves. Look at the checks first. If they are blunders, remove the checks from the list. Then go to captures. Make a list of captures. Remove all the blunder captures from the list. Narrow down the list. So now we see only bd5 is remaining. Okay, CCTP. So now you have 2 moves, ed5, queen d5. If ed5, there is a nice sacrifice, tapak. Okay, now if queen e3, bishop g5, he will lose the queen. f4, bishop into f4. So fe3 is forced. Now you take the pawn. So here black has lost an exchange down, but you have fantastic dark square control, right? The knight can go to e5. Okay, so you can come queen e7, rook e8. The e3 pawn most likely will fall, and you'll have 2 pawns for exchange, which is too much. Okay, so this position is fantastic for black, even though he's an exchange down. So if queen e3, bishop g5. So from this variation, we can see ed5 is a mistake. Okay, so we should eliminate ed5 from the list, and then we should analyze queen d5. This is what he played in the game, but this is allowing a beautiful combination for black. Now again, the bishop is under attack. Now a normal defensive player, what he will do? He will think how to save the bishop. Can I go bishop e5 or can I go bishop e7? Okay, the mind will be thinking how to save the bishop, but rook e5, counter attack. Okay, queen attack. So he has to save the queen. Now won the pawn, but it does not end here. Okay, probably Lasker saw this and thought this is good for him because of the move f4. Okay, so this is what Lasker must have seen, and then he thought he is gaining a piece. But Steinitz, he had, when he played rook e8, he must have seen all this, and he played a beautiful move, which is this I had shown in the previous class, I guess. Okay, so took. So he gave the piece temporarily, and then 2 bishops, e2 and e3, they are hanging, and white is losing the piece back. Not only that, he'll become 2 pawns down. Once black takes the bishop, white will be 2 pawns down. So it looks like hopeless position for white, right? But white won the game. And that is Lasker. 2 pawns down. Okay, so how to create counterplay? So when such positions happen in our game, okay, at younger level, we will lose hope. Okay, we will get very upset. What is this? I'm losing. Okay. Okay, whenever you are using elimination technique, you have to analyze moves quickly. Whichever moves you can remove from the list, try to see those moves. Okay, whichever moves you can eliminate quickly. So whichever moves in your mind, it feels wrong. Analyze those moves first, so you can eliminate them. Okay, so now we have to see whenever you are under attack, whenever you are in trouble. Okay, the only way you have any chance to survive is if you can create some attack on your opponent's weakness. You have to have some weakness in opponent position. Okay, so Namitbir is asking, what if the first move which we calculate cannot be eliminated? So what you do, let us say you have 3 moves in the list, okay, and you are trying to analyze. So you are analyzing option A, B, C you are analyzing A. I'm saying eliminate two moves and then the third move becomes the main move. Okay, so Namitbir is asking, what if I'm not able to eliminate? Okay, I'll adjust my position. Okay, so what if I'm not able to eliminate a move? So what you do, so first you are seeing option A, you are analyzing. After 20 seconds, 30 seconds, or 1 minute, if you are not able to eliminate it, then probably that is the main move, main line. So what you do, don't keep on analyzing that, stop it. After 1 minute, let's say, you stop and say, this needs more analysis. I'm not able to eliminate it. Then leave it aside, go to option B. Okay, and now analyze it. If you are able to prove B is wrong, B eliminated. Go to C. If you can prove C is also wrong, B and C options gone. Now come to A and continue the analysis. Okay, the problem is you see option A, after some time you are not able to eliminate, you go to B, B also you are not able to eliminate. What it means, both A and B are interesting options. Okay, then you have to trust your intuition, what your mind says, what your heart says. Okay, if you like one particular move, focus more energy on that and try to prove it correct. Okay, fine. So here, Lasker found a weakness in black position, that is the f7. Okay, you can try to go bishop f3 and win the pawns on the queen side, but queen side is not where his king is. Okay, so he played rook f1. Okay, he didn't move the bishop e2. Now the bishop is not able to come here because the rook is controlling. Okay, so he brings the rook and he targets f7 pawn. Okay, so now he takes, now bishop c4. So you see how beautifully he identified a weakness, no? It's not very difficult. Okay, the main point is you should not collapse whenever you have some problems, when you are under trouble. See, now it's equal piece, white is 2 pawns down. Positionally he is lost, materially he is lost. Okay, on the board you can lose, but in the head you should not lose. This is very important, guys. Okay, you can have a bad position on the board, but here you should not lose. Here you should always have hope. Always have hope even in bad positions. Then only you can fight back. If you lose hope in your mind, you cannot fight back. Okay, so he played knight h8. Okay, now if black wants to play, what he should do, he should quickly close this diagonal. Okay, to make the pawn safe. So if he plays c6 and d5, he will be clearly better. So maybe we can go rook f3, Rushi. Okay, for c6. So he played h4. And black is clearly better here. Okay, one move he wants, d5, and it's over for white. 2 pawns down and complete control over the e file. It's over for white. So what should white do? One move is all black wants. No, bishop f7 means knight f7, your piece down. Rook f7, king f7. Okay, so he played third sacrifice, third pawn. Amazing, no? Okay, so now this is the critical moment. How should black play? Here Steinitz made a mistake. If Steinitz had played correctly here, he is winning. But he did not play the correct move. So many of you like d5. What is the other move? d5 is playable. What is the other move? hg6. These are the two critical moves, right? Rook f8 and all, you are simply saying your pawn sacrifice is correct. I believe you. That's what rook f8 says. Okay, so remember this, I'm going to give you a very important advice. Okay, whenever your opponent sacrifices some material, okay, don't blindly believe him or her. Okay, you have to check. if I accept the sacrifice, what will happen? You have to calculate it. If you accept the sacrifice, it is too risky for you, then don't take it. And if you accept the sacrifice, if it is good for you, simply take it. Okay, but don't think just because opponent has sacrifice, it has to be correct. Not like that. Okay, so the correct move is he should have played head g6. He should have taken the pawn. Now 3 pawns up. Now what should white do? He should continue the attack, right? And then you play this. Now next move you play d5. Now 3 pawns up. So the only way white can continue the attack is keep going all the way. Okay, but now 4 pawns up. This is really becoming too much, right? Okay, so I have to take. But what is wrong with this move? Now the first rank is weak. Okay, you bring. Now you're going to play rook e1 check, exchange everything, and remain 3 pawns up. So to stop rook e1, we have to play, let us say, rook h1. Okay, and then queen e5. So now everything is safe. g5 is safe, rook is safe, h8 is safe. Next to me, you can play d5, and 3 pawns up. Black should win this. Okay, so now Rushisha, you are asking why not I play g6 here, right? But my question is, why not simply take gh6? Okay, the h file is open, but our e file looks more important than the h file. Okay, so gh6, and he could have won the game. So this position, I think Strinitz would have won comfortably. Next move, you play d5. Okay, but what he did, he believed Lasker, and he played d5. Now, from a winning position, the position has become unclear. Now this position is not winning anymore for black. Okay, so you cannot move the bishop, you will take the pawn. So he took this. So you have to take bishop attack. So you come back with check. He goes back. Now what is there for white? Nothing. You have to play the only move. What is that? Now the position has become messy. Even though black is 2 pawns ahead, look at his knight. It's not in the game. So now the position is unclear. Okay, no advantage for black. Okay, so he brought the final piece into the game. He is not winning. White is not winning. Okay. No, anyway, h5 will come. Vandan. So Vandan is saying, why not g6? Anyway, he's going to play h5, right? You are giving him a target. Okay, it's too much. So he played here h6. He played g6. Oh. Okay, so now what to do? Now Lasker played something which is very good. What is that? He played an amazing move. Very difficult. Okay, I'm reading all the chat messages. I don't want to give my comment now. So many of you like queen h2, queen c3 check, all that, right? But he played 2 pawns down. Okay, and see what he's doing. And what is the idea? Why did he play this? It's not clear, right? Let us see. And Steinitz is very happy. He's not waiting. Steinitz is centralizing. Queen e7 to queen e5. Pieces are coming forward towards the center. And now, the real idea of king b1. Super move. Yes, Kumar. Yes. Arjun, queen e3, queen d3. Don't blunder. A3. Amazing, no? It's king b1, a3. So what he has achieved with king b1, a3? See, now if you see, the queen is stuck, right, to this square to prevent rook e1 check. Okay, he's not able to go like queen h2 and attack all out. He has to worry about his own king. Okay, so what he did, he thought, okay, I'm not able to attack immediately. So let me at least clear my back rank problem. So you see, this is a very important lesson for us. Okay, white is not winning, but white is not losing here. Even though he is 2 pawns down, he is not losing. Look at the knight on h8. Basically, practically, white is a piece up. And he's not winning because he's too many pawns down. If you keep few more pieces for pawns for white, white will be winning. Okay, so this you see, he eliminates his weakness. He pays attention to his own weakness. This is very important. We don't do that. Normally, what we do, we blindly attack opponent's weakness. And what he will do, he will attack our weakness and we are gone. Okay, so when your attack is not decisive, your attack is not powerful, then that is the time to either bring new pieces into the attack or to take care of your own weaknesses. Okay, so this a3, king b1, a3, it taught the subsequent generations. Now, if you see many Kasparov games, if you see many Kasparov games, when he is attacking, he will play h3, king h2. So h3, king h2 is patent of Kasparov. Many brilliant attack, he will sacrifice a lot of material and then play h3, king h2. So this is a3, king a2. He learnt it from okay. So the chat messages, try to keep it to the minimum. Okay. So some participants are complaining. Okay, so now black pushes c5. He wants to play c4. How to attack? Queen h2 means queen into h2. You cannot go to endgame, 2 pawns down. You will just roll the h and g and f pawns. You cannot go to endgame, queen h2. Okay, so what is the only other option? No, path. His idea is to play c4. So you cannot wait. Okay, so you have to attack. The f file is there. Now he wants to play queen. What? Nothing. Okay, so let us see what to do. Bishop g6, fg6 is coming. Why queen f2? Why? Yes. Idea queen s6 mate. So now you see that the a3 move is very useful, no? No checkmate. So to stop mate, black played f6. Now queen h6 check means king f7. Now what to do? Don't be emotional, guys. Okay? Don't try to scare your opponent. So most of you like either bishop g6 or queen f6, right? These are the two moves everyone is suggesting, but he did not play either of them. One move away. Nice. Okay. Now he should have played rook g3. Now white is not worse. Okay, after he played c6 d5, but it's not worse. Black should have taken h g6. Okay, he should have taken h g6 and he was winning. but he was probably lazy to calculate. He thought anyway I'm winning, became careless, and now white is not worse at all. At least draw is there everywhere. Okay. Now rook g3 he should have played for maintaining equality. To maintain equality, he should have played rook g3, but he played this. What to do? Aditya, okay, now bringing the last piece into the attack. Beautiful. Took. Check. Now e8 is hanging, so he has to support. Okay, Aditya. Analyze, don't emotionally tell moves. Moidin, this is very strong. Okay, now you have a choice. What is the choice? You can play rook g7 check, which is very tempting, or rook g8. Okay, so which move is better? You have to choose. Okay, rook g8. Now again, black has a choice. What is that? What is black's choice? No, rook e1 check, no problem. You can simply play king a2. If rook into f1, he will take on e8. Okay, rook e1 is no point. So what is the choice? He has to move the king to defend the rook. Okay, so the choice is he can go king d7 or he can go king d6. Okay, now one move is good, one move is not so good. Now he should have played king d7. But the problem is ishkum. And we are taking rook d5 with check. That is why he played king d6. He saw rook f5 and d6 will be attacked. Okay, so he thought king d6 will support d5, and if I play king d7, lose the d5 pawn. But he should have lost the d5 pawn, move the queen, check, move. Okay, and this position is unclear. White is not winning, black is not winning. Okay, ideally it should end in a draw, according to computers. But in a human game, either white will win or black will win. Okay, but in the game, what he did, he played king d6. He thought, why give the d5 pawn unnecessarily? I will give only the f5 pawn. So it looks like everything is fine. Now, white is winning here. Almost. One more mistake and he lost. Okay, so everyone is saying rook e8. And then, which pawn? Which pawn you want to take? Both look tempting, right? You have to see the follow-up. Then only you can take a decision now. If you just randomly guess a move, and we will just guess a move. Okay, he took this pawn. Now, he came here. Otherwise, you will take queen into d5, right? And c4 will also fall. Now, you have to find a brilliant move for white. Okay, not this move, next move. Our queen is attacked. Okay, where to move the queen? Okay, so first he played queen f6. Now we have multiple threats. One threat is simply rook f8. Okay, and win the h8 because your king will be safe on a2. Only rook e1, king a2, and no more checks. Okay, you can also give queen f8 check. Queen f8, queen f8, rook f8, and then win the knight. Okay, so two threats. And the queen also attacking e3. So now he should have played rook e2. Basically stop the move which was happened in the game. Okay, but it's very difficult to play this. He played here. He thought he will keep the h pawn under attack. And queen f8 is not a check. Now if queen f8, queen into f8, rook into f7. Okay, so he thought everything is fine. Now find the winning move. Rook e7 is a blunder. Now it is winning. Find the winning move. And it is very difficult to play with a king like this. Okay, many of you like queen d2 or rook b6, but those are not the best moves. This is the winning move. Now what is the threat? Queen d6 check. Okay, or queen f2 check. So he played here to stop queen d6 check. Now this. Okay, I've checked this with engine, and what white played is the only way to win. Now this is over. Can you tell me why? Why white is winning? Which variation? Yeah. So you cannot go king b6, queen b6 will, sorry, if king b5, queen b6 will be mate. So he has to block. And drawback of this is check, only move, lost the queen. And you will lose the h8 knight also, right? You will lose the h8 knight also. And then it is katam, katam. Game over. Okay. So let us go to another game. Okay, next game. So here you see, it looked like white was completely lost, but Steinitz played a brilliant idea. Rook e8, rook e4, and fg5, queen e7. He won 2 pawns, and he got a winning position. But once he got a winning position, Lasker did not lose hope. He created some active counterplay with rook f1, bishop c4. That's a very good idea. And then the g6 sacrifice, third pawn. So he realized, like anyway he's lost, his only chance is in creating some mess, create some complete mess in the position, make it very complicated, and hope your opponent does not find the correct way. And that's what happened in the game. Steinitz, instead of taking hg6 and win the third pawn, he played d5. And after g heads on, the position became very complicated. White got good compensation. And suddenly the character of the game changed. It was white who was attacking, and he found a brilliant idea. That's queen f2, queen h4, followed by bishop f5. That bishop f5 was very nice. And then rook g1, all the pieces combined, and he hunted the black king and won the game. Okay, so it was a very good example of finding tough resources in a difficult position. Okay, and this is possible only if you are mentally tough. Okay, you should not collapse in bad positions mentally. Okay, don't give up, don't accept defeat in your mind. Okay, always realize, remember this example. In a completely hopeless position, he created something. Okay, so this is what is a champion quality, to create resources from difficult positions. Okay, fine. So the next example. Okay, Lasker Capablanca. This is again a famous game. Now, by this time, Lasker was already known to be a good endgame expert. Okay, sorry, not Lasker, Capablanca. Capablanca was known to be a good endgame expert, and Lasker is not known for his endgame skills. He was more a complicated player. Okay, but in this game, Lasker is white, Capablanca black. He played Dishkum and went for endgame. Okay, against Kappa. Against Capablanca is going for an endgame. So everyone criticized. What is Lasker doing? How can you play against endgame against Capablanca and hope for a good result? But you will see. Idea E5. Now we played this. Now what to do? Bishop C5 is coming, right? That's why he's not worried about E5. So he played here. This stops Bishop C5. Now we are threatening E5. Okay, and Capablanca played F6, stopping E5. So Capablanca is very happy with the position. Now he has two plans. One, you can simply play Bishop E6 and Rook a D8, develop the pieces directly, or you can play B6, BB7 and Rook a D8. This is little slow. Okay, now White played a fantastic positional move, but it will look anti-positional. He played F5. And this game is very famous for this particular move. What he does, he completely weakens his E5 square purposefully. He purposefully weakens the E5 square. Now, who can come to E5? The bishop, right? Okay. But that bishop, you can play bishop F4 and exchange it, right? Right now, only the bishop can come, and you can play bishop F4 and exchange that bishop. So that is not a problem. Now, if he wants the knight to come to E5, then he needs C5, knight C6, knight E5, right? So that is one thing. So now why he played F5? Why did he weaken the E5 square? Why? Why? Now look at this bishop. Where will he develop? Okay, he gains more space and the bishop C8 is restricted. Seeing this game, Fischer also played in one game F5 move. Okay, so they learn from the past generation. Okay, so he played B6 and now he played bishop F4. So now the bishop cannot come to E5, we will simply take. Okay, now what he should have done, he should have taken bishop F4. Okay, rook F4 and now C5. Idea, bishop B7, knight C6, rook a D8. A direct knight C6, knight E5 is possible. Or you can first play BB7, rook a D8 and then knight C6. Okay, we capture the file. Now the rook F4 is a stupid piece, right? It's not doing much here. So you have to relocate it. Now idea is, okay, come here, capture the file. Idea knight E5, pawn attack. You play this. And now you are getting knight here. Okay, but again, you have to do some calculation. Okay, you can play knight D5, then he will lose the E4 pawn. Okay, so like this, he should have played. Okay, but what happened in the game? He played a big mistake, Capablanca. He did not take F4, he played BB7. Now this is a positional blunder because took. Now what Capablanca thought was, he will play C5, knight C6, and you will get this square. Now the D6 pawn is weak, which he will defend with rook D8. That's what he thought. Okay, I'll play rook D8 and then C5, knight C6, knight E5. And then slowly I can attack the E pawn like that. But this is the E4 pawn is weak for white, D6 is weak for black. Okay. So he played knight D4. Now the drawback of BB7 is knight can go to E6. So it came here. Now you see the knight cannot be attacked. Bishop c8 will not come. Okay, bring the final piece into the game. Nice. Now look at all the pawns. Now this square is still weak, but who is coming there? Black is not able to exploit it. So you see, nice understanding, no? When he pushed f5, he understood, even though visually the e5 square looks weak, but it is not easy to make a piece come and sit on the e5 square. He understood it. Okay, that bishop f4 exchange, and I'm getting rook a d1 very quickly. Bishop f4, rook a d1, I'm getting fast. Okay, so he introduced a new way of how to keep the pawn structure. Okay, so now he played knight c8. Why knight c8? Why? Why knight c8? Okay, so you're asking why not c5? Maybe I can just go knight d5. Hmm? If you take, I will take with the pawn, and then I will play c4 next to move. Totally crushing, right? Okay, so he played knight c8. Why? So his idea is probably b5, knight b6. And after b5, you can push b4 and drive the knight back. So just imagine a position b5, knight b6, c5, b4. Okay, the black pieces will all become active. Okay, so rook f2. Why? He wants to double the rooks. Now he cannot play knight b6. The d6 pawn will be hanging. So he played here. And now white played a very nice move. Which move? No, not rook d6. Don't become desperate. White's position is not bad. Your two rooks are better than knight c8. You don't have to give knight a6 and become desperate. Okay. So many of you like g4, which is very good. g4, king f2. These are all very good. But this move is very important. Okay. You are kind of not allowing this break. His knight is anyway stuck for the d6 pawn. So it won't be easy for him to play knight b6, knight c4. Okay. So he's waiting. And now your plans. Okay. So now you see you have stopped his activity on the king side, queen side. Black cannot do anything on the queen side. He cannot push d5. He cannot push c5. Okay. So you have stopped his activity on the queen side. You have improved both your rooks. Okay. So the pieces are good. Now, which is not good? The king is not good. And these two pawns are not doing anything. Now, there is something called principle of two weakness. Okay. Now, opponent has one weakness already, which is the d6 pawn. This is his first weakness. But just by attacking one weakness, you cannot win. You need a second weakness. So to create second weakness, this I have explained in detail in the Nurture Dream Room, in the episode where I work with Arvind Chidambaram and Karthikeyan Murli. Okay, I have explained in detail about principle of two weakness. I strongly recommend you to watch the video again. Okay, so once you have improved all your pieces, once you have tied his pieces to the defense of the first weakness, you should start pushing pawns on the other side of the board to create second weakness. So first he plays one move, a3, useful move. He cannot do anything. He is simply waiting. So he brings the king and this. Okay, knight b6, you should take rook d6 and win with the exchange pawn up, extra pawn. Okay, you can play a4, but what you want to achieve after a4? ab5, ab5. Okay, and black wants to play on the king side with a5. Okay, stopping g5. This is a useful move. You will see why. Okay, now you understand why he played rook d3. If rook a3 comes, your rook will be defending the knight c3. Okay, so now, okay, so many of you are asking why not knight e2. See, this pawn is very important. Okay, so whenever you move the knight, it will play c5, d c5, b c5, and then knight c5, bishop into e4. Okay, your pieces are all active. Now what you should do, you should simply go up and push g5. Okay, no need to disturb the pieces, they are all very good. So he comes back, he realizes there is nothing on the a file. Patience comes with the king, idea g5. Okay, plays g6, gets the piece, played g5 check. Now what we will normally do, when g5 check came, what we will automatically play? H g5, right? Without thinking. Okay, but if you play H g5 check, move the king, what he will do? After H g5, king f3, what will black do? He'll play rook h8. And you'll say, thank you very much for the open file. Okay, so don't be emotional, don't play automatic recaptures, do this. Now, if he takes gh4, you have rook h3, rook into h4, and you will win the h6 pawn. Okay, so you have to do, it's not very difficult to calculate this. H g5, rook h8. Okay, so don't be lazy, you have to calculate. Finally, the knight comes and gives the d6 pawn. But you see, takes. Now you can take rook into d6. What will happen if you take rook d6? He will get this rook h8 idea. He will first play knight c4 and then rook h8. Okay? He will get some counterplay unnecessarily. The rook h8 is good, knight c4 is good. Two pieces became good for black. Why you want to give two good pieces for black? Okay, so what he did, he simply ignored the pawn and captured the file. The file is more important than the pawn. Next move, you take rook into d6. Okay, so he played here, saved the pawn. This is mainly when knight c4, knight e5 comes, it will not come with a check. Not only that, with king g3, he is keeping a trap. Can you tell me why? What that is? Why he played king g3? He has a nice idea. That's what happened in the game. Why did he play king g3? Yeah, he is getting out of this diagonal. Okay, he is getting out of this diagonal. We'll see why. And finally, this position is very famous. Many of you might have seen this in some tactics books when you were young. He is basically vacating the square for the knight. This knight is the bad piece, right? Look at this knight doing nothing. The white knight, this, oh sorry. This knight, this rook are all good. The two rooks on the knight e6 are good, but only the knight c3 is bad. So he does this. Took knight e4. Okay, now he's threatening knight f6 check. So he played here, defending the pawn. Came here, this knight. Now if he moves the rook, you take knight b7, rook into b7, knight d6 check. You lose the rook. So he gave the exchange. Took exchange up. Now this rook improves and this rook improves. Hitting from both sides. And he won the game. Idea rook d7, king e8, rook c8 knight. Okay. So Tanisha, you are asking something. So Tanisha is asking why not c5. You want to attack the rook. Maybe you can just go here. Go inside. What about rook h8? Why not? How to defend the rook? It's over, no? If rook h8, and then you can win all, take all the pawns. Every pawn is hanging. Okay, fine. So with this, we will stop the games. Maybe we can go to Q&A. Just a few 4 minutes we have. Okay, so please ask relevant questions. Okay, not completely irrelevant questions. I'm going to play a tournament soon. I'm a Karakan player. What should I prepare? If you're a Karakan player, you should prepare Karakan, right? If you're going to play a tournament, revise your openings before a tournament. Okay, revise the openings which comes very often in your games. Revise the openings where you have bad result. These two openings you should focus more. Okay, openings where you are having bad results and openings which is coming very often in your games. Those openings you should work more before a tournament. Also work on your calculation to be alert. Okay, Harshini is asking, can you please suggest in 90 plus 30-minute game, how much time to take for opening, middle game, end game? Okay, so what I would suggest is, if you can remember first 10 moves in any opening, okay, you should slowly raise it to 12 moves, 15 moves like that. Try to remember more. Okay, but if you can remember first 10 moves, you can play the first 10 moves very fast. Okay, so nowadays, what is happening at the top level? So if it's a 90-minute plus 30-minute increment game, 2-time controls, what they are doing, first 10 to 15 moves, they are trying to play very fast. Okay, in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Okay, so once you play the first 10 moves or 15 moves very fast, then what is basically happening? Instead of 90 minutes, 40 moves, you are basically playing 90 minutes, 30 moves. Okay, you basically save 10 minutes, 10 moves time. Okay, so for example, and another thing I would say, now let us say it is 90 minutes per first time control, 90 minutes plus 30-second increment, and you have to play 40 moves in the first time control. Okay, so basically we have to play 40 moves, and how much time we have? 90 minutes plus 30-second increment. So for 40 moves, you will get 20 minutes extra, right? For every move you play, you get 30 seconds increment. So for 40 moves, you will get 20 seconds, 20 minutes extra. So 90 plus 20 is 110 minutes. 110 minutes for 40 moves. This is what they are giving. Now what you can do is, let us add 10 more minutes to that and make it 120 minutes. Okay, so 120 minutes for 40 moves. That is basically 3 minutes per move. That is what they are giving to you. For every move, they are giving you roughly 3 minutes. But if you take like 1 hour 10 minutes on 110 minutes, it will be slightly less, maybe 2 minutes 50 seconds per move, something like that. So let us for easy calculation, let us assume we are given 3 minutes per move. Okay, so what you should do, play the first 10 moves quickly. So if you can play the 10 moves quickly with good opening preparation, okay, then what you are basically having is 10 moves are reduced. So instead of 120 minutes for 40 moves, now it becomes 120 minutes for 30 moves. Okay, so basically instead of 3 minutes per move, now you are getting 4 minutes per move, which is very good. Okay, and what you should generally do, every move try to take like 2 minutes to 3 minutes per move. Okay, if it is a forced move, play it very fast. So whichever moves you play fast, it will help for some other move. That move will get more time. Instead of 4 minutes, if you play in one move in like 5 seconds, the next move you are adding 4 minutes for the next move. 8 minutes you get for the next move. Okay, so whichever moves you can play very fast, play it very fast. Okay, so that way you can gain more time for the other moves. Okay, so then what you should do, the last 10 moves, you should have roughly 25 minutes on your clock, 20-25 minutes for the last 10 moves. Like move number 30 to 40, try to have like half an hour, 25 minutes like that on your clock. So you don't get into time trouble, because the critical positions in every game will come around this point, move 30 to move 40. Okay, so you should, if you have more time there, you can take better decisions. So this is my suggestion for time management. Okay, then I'm playing a tournament tomorrow with 3 rounds per day. How can I avoid exhaustion after long hours of back-to-back game? Sahaja is asking. So if it is 3 rounds per day, don't prepare before the game. Okay, just believe in your preparation which you have done already. Just go and play over the board. Don't prepare too much and exhaust yourself further. And another important thing, try to sleep well. At least 9 hours sleep, 9 to 10 hours sleep. Try to get tonight. Eat well. You should have energy. Rest well, eat well, and don't worry. Just handle things over the board. Okay, fine. So now it's 8:30 Indian time. It's time to end up the session for today. We can continue more in the coming Saturday, next session. Okay, so good night, everyone. Let us continue to stop today's session with this and continue the next session. Okay. So those who are playing tournaments, best wishes.
Okay, so I would like to thank you, Ramesh sir, for enlightening students by today's session. We are blessed to have you, sir. And thank you, guys. And I hope you enjoyed today's session. So the next session of Chess Gurukul 52-week training program will be on 13th April 2019. So till then, bye-bye, and we'll see you in next session. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.